Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Will.
Hey, Figsy, how you doing today?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm up. I'm awake. I'm here.
Yeah, good evening. It's pretty late over there. What time is it?
11 p.m. It's right about my bedtime, but I got the coffee. I'm ready to go. No beer
Nice.
tonight. Just
I
the
got the
opposite.
coffee as well, but I don't drink, so
You don't drink alcohol?
hmm,
You
not
should.
at all.
You should try it. It's delicious.
No, I haven't drank for a long time. It's just not for me.
Yeah, it's cool, man. That's cool. Oh, who's
Yeah, we
this?
got Chaos in here. Welcome, Chaos. Morning.
Good afternoon or good evening.
So this is the dedicated European Australian stream where the other streams more focused for American viewers.
We up late tonight, hoping to catch you guys over in mainland Europe. And I don't know, what time we figure it is over there? About 6, 7 a.m.
I think it's 8 a.m. in Europe. It's 4 p.m. over here in Australia, and I would say it's 7 a.m. in England.
Good evening, AJ. How you doing?
So today, guys, we have a special guest. We hope to do this most podcasts, but today we've got a special guest from Australia. His name is Andy. I'd like to introduce Andy to the stream.
Station. Pull out this podcast. Oh, hey.
Hey,
How's it
what's up,
going?
man?
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
Hey, not too bad. How you fellas doing?
Yeah, pretty good. So Andy,
Andy,
you're in Australia as well.
I sure am. Where the toilet flushes the other way.
are you guys neighbors? How far away do you live from each other?
Oh, tough
20 minutes,
question.
15
Yeah,
minutes.
15 minutes or so.
Oh, that's not bad. I don't know anybody in this town. Well, I know a couple guys, but they're all sharks, and they always beat me to the game. So fuck them. I don't want to hang out with those guys.
Oh, we still got, yeah, I mean, Figsy's that of us, basically. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. So, like, you hang
So
around, so the deals trickle down to you.
the trickle down theory.
Yeah.
So I always give Andy, like we were talking just before the stream. I had first dibs at this lot of games yesterday, and then I gave Andy second dibs, and he's like on the way, get them. Yep, off to get Figsy scraps again.
Yeah. Sloppy seconds, I would say it's called. So,
So
Hey,
anytime
appreciate it.
anytime something good pops up on like marketplace, if you're there first, Bigsy. You're always on top
I
of shit.
try to be, but
Oh,
I
marketplace is
I
pretty
wouldn't
competitive.
say I'd get everything first. I wouldn't even get 50% of the things I go for.
Oh shit.
I don't know if you guys realize this with marketplace, but you can actually see how many times someone has saved or how many people have actually saved an item. And I find that game stuff, if you look at the item on there, so many people have saved them, but then you go look at, like, say, I don't know, a pot that someone's got for sale and there's no interest at all. So something that's got like 5 people that have saved it is probably gone by the time you message the seller. So
No, I see that as well. And like I now buy DVDs to resell, and I save DVDs, and not many people. Like I can see a good DVD lot, for example, Doctor Who. It was probably like $500-$600 worth, and
yeah.
I seen it, and I didn't have enough money to buy it that week, so I saved it. And 2 weeks later, I bought it, and it was still there. So I was able to negotiate a good price,
Yeah.
etc. And within a
Because
week, I'd already made my money back.
if it's there a week, the chances are they're probably not desperate to get rid of it, but it's not flying off the shelf.
Pro tip when hunting on these online marketplaces, scroll way down. If it's still there, you got a shot. With the stuff at the top, yeah, it's hit or miss. But yeah,
Yeah, and
the older the shit, the better chance you got of grabbing it.
I guess set
Hey
up
AJ.
alerts and stuff as well.
So, Andy, tell us about your game collection. No one knows who you are. So, what do you collect?
Who is
Uh,
Andy?
I collect everything. I collect strange things. Yeah, I have no brand loyalty, as you say. Like, I'm not a weird Nintendo person, and I'm not a weird Sony person. I'm just, if I see a game that I like that I'll play, I'll buy it, sort of thing. If I see something that I don't like, I won't grab it. Like, it's my
How long
philosophy.
have you been collecting for?
Not long, actually. So both you fellas probably have a way bigger head start on me. I've probably only been collecting for about 2 years or so. and I'm
Figsy
up to
mentioned
about 1,400 games. So
Jesus.
Oh, in 2 years, that's impressive.
yeah.
Figsy mentioned that you modded consoles and repaired consoles.
Yeah. So the weird thing about me is for my childhood life and my adult life and a lot of my teenage life, I never really bought games. I was a pirate, and I'll just come out and say it. I used to pirate everything. I just didn't believe in buying games. I used to just think that I had a computer or I had a modded console. I didn't have to pay for games. I wasn't going to pay for games, and I never used to pay for games. But about 2 years ago, I bought my first, I think it was a PlayStation 2 game, and I think it was Ratchet and Clank. And I remember just like feeling it in my hands and looking at it, and then looking at the manual and just being able to see it in person. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, you don't get this with a DL, like with a digital game. You only get this when you're buying something physical, and I own it forever. It's not on a hard drive that could die. It's not, it's mine. And that's what happened. I just then started just buying up whatever I liked, wherever I liked, at this place behind me, at garage sales, and that's sort of how I met Figsy. So
Yeah, so we've known each other almost 2 years, I would say, pretty much as long as you've been collecting.
yeah, I guess I'll just explain sort of the way we met. I went to a garage sale once, and I bought a fair few original Xbox games from this garage sale, and the person that was holding the garage sale was talking about this person in town that had a full PS3 set. And when they said that, I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, I know this guy, and he works at this place, and he's got a full PS3 set. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know anyone that has, more than 30 games or 20 games physically, and this person has a full set. So anyway, I sort of thought that was pretty cool. And then weeks later, I'm sort of going out looking and hunting for games because I've only just started collecting. And I thought I'd start looking on eBay for things. And that's where I met Figsy. Is basically his work's eBay store, just me buying crap from there and having it sent to my house, which is about, I say, a mile away from the store. So that's the thing that made Figsy laugh, is he's like seeing someone buy stuff on this store, and then he's got to like post it like a mile away. And he just ended up just like calling me basically and saying, like, just come in and buy whatever you want. Like, don't bother going on eBay. So
should have pocketed that shipping money and drove it over yourself, Figsy.
Yeah, I think I messaged him and said, if you want to come in the shop, I can give you better prices. And
basically, yeah. So
one thing led to another, and then we became mates. And and now he comes over to the store and buys stuff almost weekly.
Yeah, we're no longer friends. We're just customers. Like, I'm just a customer. So
They still give you first dibs where you used to work, Figsy? They call you, say, hey, we got a whole bunch of video games in. You want to come check them out before we put them on the shelf?
Monday is my last shift. So after Monday, I think it's fair game for all collectors in town.
You hear that?
We'll see how we go. I'm sure the boys are going to look after me.
Yeah, probably.
Who we got in the chat, Figsy?
Hey, let's say good morning. We've got Shawnee in here from New Zealand. Langers from Australia. We've got Banify over in Romania. Good morning. And then we've got Jamie over in the UK, I believe.
Yes. Representing Barnsley, the UK. What's up, Jamie?
And then Yoles is over in Belgium. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Good morning, Yoles.
Hey.
Today I picked up a Maury and lawn mowing simulator. Well, cheers on the Maury. Lawn mowing simulator? Who showed that one off? Was it Christian?
I haven't seen lawn mowing simulator on a video before.
It's good. Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. My missus doesn't like gaming. Well, she doesn't hate gaming, but she's not really interested in gaming. And she watched me playing lawn mowing simulator one Sunday morning, and basically yanked the controller off me and sat there for 2 hours just riding a lawnmower around. And I was just like, oh, okay, then this is obviously what people like. So
Sunday
I
morning
ironically
dad
played
simulator.
it.
it's
My
good. It's on
lawns
Game
needed
Pass,
to
sure.
be mowed, and I was playing lawn mowing simulator.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was,
Your own yard's dying from neglect, but you got the PlayStation 5 set up and mowing yard.
I got Farming Simulator sitting there in the collection. I don't know why. Sometimes you just buy a game because it's $1 or $2 or $3. You know what I mean? And that's how you end up with weirdo games like Farming Simulator 13.
I guess Lawn Mowing Simulator is sort of like a one-off simulator, and the way I see Farming Simulator is pretty much like a FIFA game. There's a new one every 3 years or so, and it's basically the same concept with some quality of life things added in there.
Is there that much demand for Farming Simulator?
there
Yeah,
actually is.
There's heaps. There's like from I think 2007 or something is the first one, all the way up to like 2022. So,
And it's not just farming. Like truck simulator games on Steam have some of the highest rating. I think Euro Truck Simulator's got an average rating of like 93%.
yeah.
And then the average play time's like over 200 hours or something ridiculous. I was watching a video about it.
Yeah.
So people that like those games absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fan. I'll admit I'm a fan of Farming Simulator and games like that. I can sit there and play them for hours.
I guess I can respect it more than a Fortnite. There you go. Who else we got in the chat?
We got David from the UK. Morning, Dave.
You know where everybody's from. Shit.
I like to. And then Ahmad. Welcome, Ahmad. I'm not too sure where you're from.
We got stumped. Jamie says, yeah, I collect everything as well. Retro for many years and modern. It can be overwhelming collecting for all systems. Jamie is a hidden gem. He's got a huge collection, but no one's ever seen it. It's all packed away.
Maybe we can get Jamie on here one day and show him. He can show us his collection. Hey, while we're on that topic, Andy, do you mind showing us your collection on that other screen that you showed me earlier?
Oh, what do you mean?
Your other backdrop of your collection.
Oh, yeah. I should be able to do that.
Will hasn't seen it either, so Andy's got a pretty amazing collection.
1,400 game, but you're all over the place, not just.
Yeah,
I will say it's quality over
I don't
quantity.
even know how to. No, it won't let me do it now, which is strange.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, no, it won't. Those options are gone. I don't know why.
Right. Andy's not home at the moment. He's at Cash Converters, guys. We all know that.
He's posted up in the parking lot.
Yeah, well, I nearly got stabbed before, so.
Is that? Yeah, so I was playing Amori this morning, and it's just weird. It's like a bit of Pokemon in there. It's got a bit of homeward, the big Homeward Bound, not Homeward Bound, damn it. What's the Earthbound? Thank you. It's a little bit of Earthbound. It's a little bit of everything, and but it's got some creepy ass overtones, suicide, murder. It's all in there, and it's
are you an
with
Earthbound
kids.
fan?
No, never played it. My daughter's a big fan, and I've sat and I've shoulder surfed her, watched her play it, but no, I've never played it.
Yeah, no, it's one of them things where it's sort of like a game you should play before you die.
Is it that
even
good?
if you hate it or not? Yeah, it's crazy how good of a game it is for how old it is, like, and how in depth it is. So.
I've played about an hour of it at a friend's place, and I absolutely loved it. But that's all I've played, so I need to either get a cracked version of it or
no. So the easiest way to play it would be on a Switch using the Nintendo Online subscription, and then you just play it.
Oh, sweet.
That way.
Speaking of games, guys, Sudoku 1 and 2 getting released next year. How exciting is that?
Was that humor? Sudoku's exciting?
Not Sudoku.
What?
Suikoden.
Suikoden, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
As I was saying before, my English skills aren't the best.
dude,
remember?
no one's getting excited for Sudoku unless you're like 90 years old.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, the pokies or something. Sudoku
Dude,
pokies.
You threw me for a loop there. Sudoku, shit. Let's go.
Need to say that for the bloopers.
Solitaire 2023 coming out soon. Let's go.
Well, funnily enough, they're on my list of games to buy, and they're like $500 each on PS1. So I like the fact that I'm going to save $1,000.
I had the Suikoden set when I was or the PS2 set when I was vigorously chasing it, but like many things, my collection it came and it went. But that's a story for another day.
So, as a person who has no idea what that game is, what's it about?
I've got number 5. I'll show that.
It's
a JRPG.
It's a JRPG. That's the best way to describe it. JRPG. I've never played it. A lot of these games that come into my collection, I don't play.
Up there with like the top 5 JRPGs on the PS1. Here's number 4.
Oh, okay. I've definitely never seen that before.
Yeah, do yourself a favor, Suikoden.
So what's coming out this year? Is it like a remaster of that game, or is it
a remaster of 1 and 2?
Oh, cool.
Now they're 2 of the most expensive PS1 games because they're just so wanted, and it's not just here; it's in PAL and North America. So it's one of the only games that's truly expensive in both regions. Like, just says how wanted it really is.
Chaos Fighter has 250 hours in the Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Well, that backs up what I was saying before. Like the average.
I have a terrible story to tell you guys about truck simulators. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Figsy, but back in the day, I started mining Bitcoin, and I basically mined enough Bitcoin for it to be about, I'd say about $30 or $40 Australian.
You have told me this story.
And I basically mined about $30 or $40 worth of Bitcoin back in the day. And I thought, this is awesome. Like, I just made money from this little box that I had under my desk at work. I'm going to go buy something with this money, with these Bitcoin. Like, I think it was like 1 or 2 Bitcoin at the time. Like, it was a fair bit. What year are we in? I think we're in like 2014 or something like that, or 2013. Yeah. So I go onto a Steam CD key site and I buy American Truck Simulator for basically all of that Bitcoin, and I buy it and I play the shit out of it and I love it. Like, it's, I got so into it that I went and bought like a steering wheel and a proper shifter that had all the 18 gears and stuff, and I love the game. But then, you fast forward 6 or 7 years from then, and the Bitcoin that I used to buy that game is worth about 80 grand. So I've got this $80,000 game sitting in my Steam library that I bought for.
It's the most expensive game you own.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Speaking of horror stories, I once bought a haunted video game. It was and while we're on the subject of trucks, it was Big Mother Trucker for PS2.
Oh,
This game, it was only after I bought it, and I put it in, I played it a little bit, blah blah blah, and I left it in the system. It would turn on my PS2 and start playing by itself. I shit you not, man. And sorry, okay, whatever. That's weird. Glitch, whatever. Take it out, put it in the case, put it up in the bookcase. The thing would shove itself off of the shelf onto the floor. I'm not kidding you.
Oh, wow.
And I went back and because I picked it up from Mercari, and I started messaging the woman who sold it to me, and she said they were her dead brother's video games. And he just recently died. And I was like, and it seriously chills. I was like, what the fuck? I got rid of that thing quick.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm selling that.
Yeah, sounds like he's angry that you weren't playing. He's like, put more hours into this game. I died for this game.
No, well, they say people ghosts they stick around because they got shit that's unfinished. I think he just wanted to finish the game, to be honest with you. But I passed that cursed object on to someone else. It was only later that I learned that people pay good money for haunted shit. So I should have held on.
How do you prove that it's haunted? Like, you could just go, I've got an Elgato HT60S here, and a dead person owned it, and it sometimes turns itself off and on. $500, please.
You can upload video to eBay now, so you put up a video of it ejecting the disc and no one watching it, or no one pressing.
And then like you got a piece of string in the background that you're pulling and they can't see.
Tucked between all the other games, it screwed itself out. You never notice it, and then until you hear it hit on the floor, like what the fuck was that? And just it happened about 3 times. Then I messaged the lady, figured it out that so and so died, and these were his games, and that was it. Yeah, I passed them on. But yeah, if you Google or if you look up on eBay, you can find a market for haunted items.
That's interesting. I've never even thought about that before.
Yeah,
I'm not superstitious.
Yeah, check it out on eBay. Just enter haunted in the key search and watch how much weirdo shit comes up.
Next time I can't sell something, I'll relist it. Haunted. Sold.
Yeah, sold.
Put like a magnet inside it or something, so occasionally it just starts moving.
Magnet fry the whole damn system. Figs, do you know where AJ's from?
I don't. AJ, I don't know where you're from. You're going to have to let me know, unless you don't want to.
It's just after 7.
Just past 7 a.m. in the UK. I hope some more of our UK viewers can join us. It is Sunday morning, though, so I'd expect a few of you guys to be sleeping in.
Still Saturday here.
We're in the future. It's almost Monday here when you look at the grand scale of things.
Yeah.
Yes. I am also about to pick up Road Maintenance Simulator, Mad Tower Tycoon, Bus Driver Simulator, and On the Road Truck Simulator, all on PS4.
Nice.
Yep.
I never knew there was such a big demand for simulator games. I'm going to have to.
I collect them. I like them.
Yeah.
I
seen a pack this week. Well, you're in the group that Christian posted the firefighter game. That quadruple pack. I got really excited by that. I want it.
The problem with some of the simulator games is they can be shovelware, and they can literally just be like the same game as another simulator game with all the same assets in them, but they just change the name to something completely different.
Good example.
Yep.
So this game here, Forestry 2017, the simulator.
Yeah.
This game I finished in 45 minutes, and I got all the trophies except one, because one trophy's glitched, and the developers didn't give a fuck about the game and just haven't patched it in 3 years. And there's all these trophy hunters out there really angry because it's like their one trophy that they're missing.
Just turn up at the dev's house, just being like, "We need this trophy, man."
Trophy
it was
hunters
terrible, but like, okay, it was fun for such a short game. But yeah,
I'm gonna crack open the farming simulator tomorrow morning, see what that thing's all about. It's sealed, and I don't like to open up sealed games because there's just a collector in me. But I don't. I think I'll be okay opening this one.
The good thing about the farming simulator games is there's a pretty big modding community behind them. So even on the console, you can download mods to the game and completely change the feel of the game, like add different pieces of equipment, add different characters and stuff, different farms, like land and stuff. It's pretty awesome.
You put new outfits on
a lot of City Skylines, and it's very similar.
Yeah,
like the modding community in that game is huge. It's bigger than the game itself. And the game actually encourages mods. Like it's got a workshop built into the game.
Yep. Unlike Rockstar. Don't fix our game or we'll sue you.
No, Rockstar. AJ's also excited for Sudoku 1 and 2.
Yeah.
From here on forward, forever, it's going to be Sudoku, dude.
Yeah. I was so confused.
Jamie gave him some shit too.
I've ruined it.
Jamie says, one game for the PS1 I'd love is Symphony of the Night, as well as Figsy just left it.
It's on my list. There's 4 games I want on PS1, and they've all just got remakes. Symphony of the Night, Sudoku 1 and 2, and Choco Racing. It just got a remake for the Switch.
Choco Racing GP?
Yeah, but it's just called Choco Racing on PS1.
You mean Chocobo? Those chickens from Final Fantasy?
Yeah,
Yes,
Jacobo.
yeah. There's a lot of controversy around it because apparently the Switch version is just filled with microtransactions. So
That sucks.
yeah, from the little bit I played, there's a fair bit of like, hey, buy this, buy that. So I'm pretty sure it is a Ubisoft title, maybe.
So my PS1 collection will probably never be complete because those 4 games is like $2,000.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Hottie says afternoon over Sunday afternoon in here. Where the hell is he then? Are you in Asia?
Maybe Australia like us.
Yeah, he'd be somewhere around the equator.
And he just recently posted. He just also picked up that shitty game, My Girlfriend and the Robot. No, what the hell is it called?
The Girl and the Robot.
The Girl and the Robot.
Yeah.
My Girlfriend and the Robot. But
My Girlfriend and the Robot. It's like a little kid.
It's a great song. My Girlfriend's a Robot. Look into it, guys.
It's not just one Aussie. You hear 2 Aussies and 1 American at the moment.
Yeah.
Panamanian American. Dual citizenship. Did you guys know that? I'm from Panama, by the way, originally.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's another story.
I know that there's a bunch of Caribbean countries that you can pay $150,000 to become a citizen of, and then you get a passport to freely travel with. I think it's called
Costa Rica. I think you can buy your citizenship.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the place.
There's a lot of countries around the world like that, though. Like even Canada, you can, but it's like $2 million.
Economic, basically an economic sponsored passport citizenship.
Shit, I'd pay to be a Canadian. The way
They
shit's
can
going
put
in
their
this
prices
country.
for whatever they want. Did you used to live in Panama City?
I grew up there. I was born there, and I grew up there, did all my high school, some college, and then I followed a girl, and I landed in the U.S., and I never left. And then here we are. Yeah, it didn't work out with the girl, but it never does.
Panama is the wild, wild west, isn't it? Like it's pretty crazy, like rule-wise and stuff. Or
I mean, it used to be, but now it's not the country I left behind. I mean, you used to be able to bribe cops and do this, that, and the other. And I was in clubs when I was 16, and
wow.
Yeah, but now it's a little more civilized. But it's not Tijuana crazy, but it had its moments. But anyway.
Is it a safe country these days?
Yes.
I know a few of those Central American countries are pretty dangerous.
Well, the country, it's a whole thing. Do you guys want to hear this story or we talk about? Because Panama Canal, Americans, they ran the shit. And,
yeah, I know all about the Panama Canal.
Bunch of military bases there as well. My dad, he was in the Air Force. He hooked up with my mother, a Panamanian woman. And then in 1999, they gave it all back to the Panamanians. So yeah. all the Americans left. Well, not all of them, most of them. And there's just there's still a big community of Americans down there. But yeah, I left before they gave back the canal. So
has Panama got a lot of like the fruit companies that American own running the place?
I don't know. I mean, banana is one of their major exports.
Yeah, okay. So a lot of banana companies like Dole are an American company, and they're in like Venezuela and Colombia, and I'm not sure about Panama, but like a lot of those countries.
Probably for tax purposes, I'd say.
Modern colonialism.
Basically, they like influence. If you watch this video, get demonetized. Basically, they've been influencing like the governments of these countries for like hundreds of years, or for like 100 years, and it's so corrupt. That's disgusting.
It's not very video gamey, but there we go.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, so I heard it's pretty good collecting games in Panama. Like,
yeah. No, when we're back, it was NES back in those days. And I wasn't collecting. I was just over at my friend's house. Yeah.
So would Panama be NTSC like as a region? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of like Brazil, for example, their games are PAL, but they're also NTSC, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's so confusing.
Back in the day, they used to be 50 hertz, where
Yep.
NTSC games were 60 hertz.
Yep.
But today it's not like that. So their games are technically NTSC now, even though they used to be PAL.
Well, I mean, none of that's really relevant, I guess, since CRT TVs and stuff. So really, we only use that PAL and NTSC as a way of region,
Exactly. But Brazilian collectors have always said that they're PAL. So now today, if you ask a young Brazilian collector, he'll tell you he's an NTSC collector.
Yeah.
Where like an older Brazilian collector is still PAL. It's interesting.
Yeah.
If anyone from Brazil here is in chat, let us know.
Oh man, I had a guy in our Facebook group. He was just he got angry. He got bent out of shape because we're referring to modern games, PS3 forward, as PAL or NTSC. He's like, no, you can't have a TV signal define what kind of video game it is. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, calm down. It's just the vernacular of our hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just how we say
so,
shit.
for example, there's a couple of Brazilian exclusives that America didn't get. Like Everybody Dance 3, where it's released in Mexico, but it also was released in Brazil, or Chavez Kart. There's a couple of them. Hello.
Give me a minute, guys. I'll be right back.
But because of that, a lot of American collectors will class that as part of the set, where a lot of them won't include it part of the set. It's sort of
a bit of a gray area. Yeah.
So it's really interesting where some of them will only include the Mexican version as part of the set.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of fights and stuff. I heard that the Mega Drive, like the Sega Mega Drive, is still a massive thing in Brazil. Like, still people that are using it today as like their main console. Like, that's how big the Mega Drive was there.
Well, Brazil also have a lot of hacked consoles. Like up until the PS3 era, PS2 hacking was rampant in Brazil.
Yeah,
it was hard. It's hard to find like genuine PS2 games because there was so much bootleg stuff out there.
Yeah. I guess that was the same for like us growing up when our parents or whatever would go to Bali and stuff. And yeah, when you go to Bali, the only thing you're going to get is just bootleg PS1 games. And you'd bring them home and try and play them in your Power PS1 and they're just black and white. You're just like, oh, well, it's a game. I'll just play it.
I remember a friend had a bootleg PS1 from Fiji growing up, and he had like 50 games, and he had all the coolest games. We played the coolest games at his house, but he'd like never let you borrow them, and like he tried to explain that they wouldn't work, and like just, like he doesn't want to lend us his games, but he's borrowing my games.
No, because they're black and white on your screen. Like
they don't work.
They do. They're just black and white. Like there's no color.
I had a PS1 back in the day. I bought a little device and plug it back in the I/O port. It is in the back of the PS1.
Game Shark.
It wasn't a Game Shark. This was some bootleg thing, and it was at a swap meet. The guy was selling the little plug-in, and he would sell you a spring, and he would sell you the games. And you take the spring and you put it in, you rig it inside, so the machine would think it was closed when it was open, so you could switch discs.
Oh, Swap Magic. A Swap Magic.
Because
that was a PlayStation 2 thing that was called a Swap Magic, and you would basically you'd stick a real game in there, and then it would start to boot, and you would eject it, and then put the card thing, swipe this card thing in there, and then put the bootleg game in there, and it would keep playing. So
I've seen the cases for the PS2 that have the circular cutout in the middle and the top where you open it up and you hot swap. But no, this is something else. I have it in a box somewhere, but basically the same thing. Boot it up with another game, swap it out with the bootleg thing, and you can just go. I used to take a knife to my PS2 and open up the so I can manually open up the disc tray so I can pull it out, put in my bootleg game, and then click it in. Yeah, it's a whole thing, but not anymore. You can just free McBoot it these days. I've never free McBooted anything, but the option's always out there.
Yeah, and then on a PlayStation 1, it's actually called Tony Hacks, and it uses a memory card as well and does the same thing. You boot up from the memory card, and it just says insert the game after it's booted from the memory card. So you can do that with a PlayStation 1 as well.
Yeah,
I've never had much to do with hacked stuff, bar like burnt games on PC. But I'm sure everyone
Yeah.
did that 10, 15 years ago.
so many different ways to play free games. A friend of mine hooked me up with his name is Chandrak. He hooked me up with a modded PS3, and all I really do is I got a couple games on there I got from the internet, but mostly I just burn my own games on there, so I can just ship up, play them real quick.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I don't condone piracy in my groups. I'm very anti-piracy in my Facebook groups, and I will zap any sort of piracy because we're not there for that. I mean, there's tons of other groups that are all about modding and technical this and technical that, but I try to keep mine pure, just for the players and just for the collectors.
There's a time and place for it, There's places for this and there's places for that, and somewhere where someone's buying physical media and collecting it as a collector doesn't want to hear about, I got a Xbox original that has every game on the hard drive. Who cares?
And yeah, it's the same as people getting in. Like, I'm in a group called Movie Collectors, and I was reading the comments as someone posted a bunch of DVDs, and someone's like, "Why would you collect DVDs? It's 2022." It's like, why are you going into a movie collector group and getting up someone for collecting DVDs? Like,
yeah, idiots.
Seems AJ is from the United States, almost 2:30. So
is that the East Coast?
I'm on the Pacific, so Mountain. Is he? No, I think he's Central Standard Time. He's over there somewhere.
We've got a couple more people in chat. Hey, Lulu Girl.
Lulu Girl says, "Hey guys, I have that T-shirt." Will, yeah. My girlfriend brought me this one from. I don't know, probably Walmart or something. I was mentioning to Figsy, it says PlayStation on top, and you got the logo. And down here, we got some Japanese words, and I ran it through Google Translate, and it says "kill all the white man" right there. So there you go. I'm kidding. I don't know what it says. It could say peanut butter for all I know, but there you go. There's my shirt. Tonight I wore the PlayStation regalia.
It probably says PlayStation in Japanese. Like that's the logical explanation.
It says PlayStation is what it says actually.
We got the Dutch Garage. Welcome, Dutch.
From where do they go? The Netherlands?
Yeah.
Holland? What do they like to call themselves these days?
It's the Netherlands. So Holland's just a region around Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Where the Netherlands is the entire country.
There you go.
I've made that mistake in the past, so I've
Legos and windmill.
Don't do it again.
It's a beautiful country. I've been there. I absolutely love the Netherlands.
Hadi says, I also sometimes have problem with collecting PS3 game for Southeast Asia region. There are some titles that don't include English language, and even though it's a region 3 game, I don't have that problem. There's very few Asian games I'll chase. I went after a couple only if I know it has English on it, but I tend to stay pretty close to home when I'm collecting.
So those countries are interesting. Like, my friend showed me shelves of shops in places like Manila, and you'll see region 3 games. There'll be Japanese games. You'll see North American games. There'll be PAL games, and usually they're all brand new, factory sealed. So it's weird what they get into those countries. It's the same as places like United Arab Emirates. You find all regions of games.
Yeah.
No, just if you can find an out of country game here, it's weird. I found what was it? I found a Doctor Who game at one of my local shops. He told me it was a good price.
You showed me the other day. You didn't pick it up, and I'm like, you need to go pick that up. That's a rare one.
It's funny. It's been there for over a year, so maybe I can go and get a discount on it.
That's crazy to me. I think I bought my copy on eBay back in the day for a bit of money.
I may have to chase it. Who else we got in the chat here? If memory is correct, the PS2 wasn't introduced in Brazil until 2009.
Wow, that's literally 8 years after its inception. Yeah.
That's after the PS2 pretty much stopped making games. Like, I mean, the PS3 was out at that point.
Yeah.
So, isn't Brazil in Brazil? Don't they require like don't they require the games and consoles to be manufactured in country? I think they have a thing
Maybe.
about that.
They've got their
I'm-
own region, their own rating system on games, so possibly that's the truth.
Yeah, I watched some documentary, and the piracy scene is huge, and over there in Brazil, and getting back on this piracy subject, in third world countries where coming across physical media is really expensive and really hard, I'm all for it. And I'm talking to our brothers out in Africa. Those guys have a really hard time finding games, and if they can, if getting the shit for free off the internet is the only way they can play, FIFA 2020, go for it, man. I'm all for it. But
Just finding games. Like I watched a documentary about this guy going to Lagos in Nigeria, and this group of probably 15 guys had one PS3, and it cost them like $400 American to buy a secondhand PS3, and it was like 2020.
Yeah, we take some stuff for granted, don't we?
Yeah, so
Big money. Like not just that. Like I know a friend in India who just had to spend $1,200 American to buy a PS5 at retail.
Ouch.
Because that's retail price in India.
Yeah.
So, like, we just got to be lucky that you can get what you get. Don't be like, I can't get a PS5. They're $1,000 on eBay. Well, they're more expensive for a person who lives in, a country that didn't get them. So it's
I'm just wondering why Brazil would have introduced that so late. Like if it was an economical reason, economical, whatever. If it's a money reason or if it's something else. Because, like for instance, at the moment you can't buy iPhone 14 in Brazil because they've banned it because Apple took the charger out of the box. So the Brazilian authorities have basically said we don't want iPhone 14s because there's no charger in the box. So.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Is the iPhone 14 got a Type-C charger?
No, it doesn't.
No,
it's still using Lightning. Yeah.
So next year they'll be introducing the Type-C around the world, or is that just coming to Europe? Do you guys?
I think it's a European thing, but I don't know. Like at the moment, for instance, if you buy a iPhone 14 in North America, it doesn't have a SIM tray anymore. You can only use an eSIM. But in Australia and Europe, it's still got a SIM tray. So
that's interesting. So I wonder if they're going to have two iPhones, like a European one and then one for the rest of the world.
I'd totally just import one to have a USB-C port and just be done with
I would too, because it would
so many things are USB-C these days, and only an iPhone really is Lightning. It'd just make accessories and stuff so much easier.
Not just that, like the good USB-C charger is cheap.
Yeah.
And they're so readily available. Like, you can use your Nintendo Switch charger.
Yeah. But try and do that. Try and jam your Switch charger into your iPhone.
Who else we got in the chat?
Jamie said the Sega Master System was huge in Brazil. They were still producing it up until a couple of years ago. That's impressive.
Yeah. I would believe that.
Brazil.
I wonder if the games were still getting produced then as well. If you could still buy, a boxed version of Sonic or something like that.
I believe they were still making new games because I've seen a few of them through the collecting groups.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if you're a Master System collector and you want a new in box of something, maybe Brazil is a place to look for them.
Well, there's actually a lot of old systems that they bring new games out for. Like even some popular YouTubers like Radical Reggie have their own game, and people
the Dreamcast is pretty big for that. Like even though the Dreamcast was a commercial flop, but indie games and stuff are still coming out for it all the time.
Because they're not official games, but you can order 1,000 copies online for
Some of the first hardware revisions of Dreamcast will just boot games up without having to modify them at all. They'll just boot a game. So there's that as well.
I was gonna say, can't you just like burn a copy of and just pop it in and play? Is it all? So it's not all
not all Dreamcast, no, but certain revisions of them. The first ones that they made, you could basically do that. The ones after that, you'd have to modify them.
Must have been a hacker's dream back in the day with that thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a device called the Goldfinger that did it for PS1. Yeah, all sorts of little toys, doodads, and gadgets to play free games.
I looked up that thing, and it was definitely called the Swap Magic, and it was that like a card thing to make and a disc thing that you swapped over to get the games running on a top-down PlayStation 2.
Are you still bootlegging games a lot, Andy? Or
no,
not at all.
Nope. Okay. My philosophy is if it's something like a PS3 game where I can really easily get it, definitely not. But like, if I want to play Earthbound or something on a SNES, trying to get something like that's pretty hard to do these days. So like, I'm not against flash carts, if that makes sense. So like your EverDrives and stuff like that for older consoles.
I play emulated Pokemon games because I prefer playing them at a faster speed.
Yeah.
And, I think it's the best way to play them is on my PC. I enjoy it, so why not? There's lots of, like, really good mods with Pokemon games as well, and the emulating scene is set up really good, so I'm not going to diss it.
No. I'll tell you, I really love a good arcade. MAME, I think is the term.
Yeah.
For old school arcade titles. I got one of those Pandora's boxes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. The joystick in a box. Yeah.
Yeah, double joystick, and just playing the old arcade beat 'em ups I played as a kid. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
There's so many arcade machines. When you start looking at the list of MAME ROMs, I guess you would call it, there's so many. Thousands and thousands and thousands. And there's what they're constantly getting dumped. Like it's a never ending thing of people finding machines and dumping the ROM, like dumping the data from the arcade cabinet. Like it's just a never ending thing.
Well, it's good because it preserves it for the future. Like once it's uploaded, it's there for everyone.
Yeah. So Figsy, when are you going to donate a copy of like Pixel Junk or something for
the 3D collection or something like that?
The Dutch Garage PSP collector. Oh man,
I know your name, Dutch Garage. So I don't know if I follow you on Instagram or what, but I know that name with PSP collection. So I'm sure you've got an amazing collection.
You collected a PSP, Figsy?
I used to actually have a really big PSP collection. I had about 150 exclusives.
Jeez.
Some higher end titles. But I had a rule. If I didn't have my collection on display, I sold it. My PSP collection used to sit at the back of my games with Xbox titles, and I got to a point where I sold them and I bought games that I wanted for my collection. So I don't have any PSP games bar one, and I'll show you that one.
I love it. The guy just turns around. Oh, you talking about this game? Boop, he pulls it off the shelf. He's what do we got here?
Called
yes, this one's quite rare if I'm not mistaken.
I couldn't find it anyway.
It's probably one of the top 5 rarest PSP games. It's an Indian exclusive, and it's rare in India.
It's an RTS, isn't it? It's basically like a Age of Empires RTS type thing.
Kind of. I made a YouTube video about it actually.
Or a battle.
Type in the name PSP Battle Royale. And you might have to minus Fortnite. It'll come up.
Yeah, it's Battle Royale before it was cool.
Yeah, right. It was the original Battle Royale.
It's a good movie if you ever watch it. Anyway, we're not going to get on movies, but Battle Royale, I highly suggested. Good morning from Sir Collect-A-Lot. Do you know where Sir Collect-A-Lot's from, Figsy?
Sir Collect-A-Lot is my friend Dirk over in the Netherlands, and he just got a package from me this week, actually. It was really exciting. So if you guys want to check that out, be sure to jump on Instagram and check out Sir_Collect-A-Lot. He's got an amazing collection.
I will note that one for next time. Who's next in the chat?
Dutch said Holland is just fine.
Oh.
People from the south won't say that.
They'll be there with their pitchforks and their burning crosses and stuff.
Robert said, I just found Shaq on PS4.
Shaq Fu. Yes. Yes, Shaq Fu.
What system was that? back in from the Sega days. Shaq
Yeah,
Fu?
no, it's a remake. So I think it's a remake of it, but yeah, it's an old Nintendo game. It's an old SNES game, maybe, or an old NES game. But like, it's notoriously shit. But it's one of those games that you've just got to play. So
There's no
They've
shortage
remade
of.
so many games this generation. It's crazy.
yeah, for the PS4, that's the one good thing I like about the PS4. All these old games that have just been slapped onto a PS4 disc.
There's no shortage of shit games that people want to collect. I don't get it, but there you go.
That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Echo just then when I was thinking of shit old games. I was thinking of Echo the Dolphin as well. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I
heard
know
of
the
Echo.
game you're talking about.
Yeah, that's another terrible game from the Shaq Fu era.
Dutch needs 70 more titles to complete the PAL and US. Oh, so he's not going for
That's
Japan.
impressive.
Whoa,
So like
it's
a full
both.
English PSP set, basically.
We have the PSP/PS Vita Ain't Dead group over there on Facebook, and it's not as lively as PS2 or my PS3 group, but I always like to browse around, see. He has 2 battle royals. One's even sealed. Well, shit. What's the going rate on one of those?
I couldn't find any information. Dutch, what's your opinion on the rarity of Battle Royale? Would you put it up there in the top 5 PSP games?
And the price of it, I guess.
We're all hanging on to Dutch's comments here.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go straight on eBay and not find a copy.
It's like a real life a PSP collector. They're rare as hen's teeth. So we're gonna pick his brain as much as we can while we got him.
Because it's an Indian game, right? It's an Indian released PSP game. Is it made by the same company that makes the cricket game?
No, it's made by Immersive Games. I haven't heard of them before.
Immersive Games. Well, shit. What's the other? What's Raw One? Is that the other Indian exclusive for PS3?
Yeah, but there's probably about 6 or 7 on PS2. And again, on PSP, there's half a dozen exclusives.
Who published Raw One though? The same company as Battle Royale. Is it Royal or Royale? Is there an E on the end of it? I didn't.
No, it's Royal. Battle Royal. Let's have a look.
Battle Royal. So not Royale.
I'm thinking of the damn Japanese movie, the one that they ripped off to make the Hunger Games. A bunch of kids go out. Have you seen this film?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, is it the green light, red light thing or no?
No, that's a Squid Game.
That's Squid Game. My bad. Not even close.
They take a bunch of shitty kids. Oh, it's a Sony. It's a Sony. All right. Jeez. Wait, there's a PS2 Raw one?
Yeah, I've only seen that on PS3.
I couldn't be bothered looking for the PS3 version, so I chose the PS2.
Wait. Isn't your shit in alphabetical order?
Yeah, but I'll sort of show you. I've got my computer desk set up, and then the PS3 collection's behind, so there isn't really room.
We better crawl in
because my PS3 collection's complete. I don't have to add or take away to it, so it just sits there as like a wall piece.
Controversial question: is it in alphabetical order?
It is regional, and then each region's alphabetical order. So the first set is the Australian PAL set, and then you have all the PAL exclusive games, North American exclusive games, Steelbooks, SingStars, and Buzz games.
Should have kept that lizard around, trained him so he can go grab this shit for you.
Yeah.
In case you guys are wondering, there was a lizard loose in Bigsy's studio, and it was touch and go there for a while.
Oh,
it's all good.
He was up on the chair. I've been up on the.
Like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Yeah.
That's not true. I was Steve Irwin. Crikey, man.
Yeah, he was jumping on its back like a crocodile. Go and get him.
He had it in a full headlock.
And here we have the native Australian skink. Crikey,
he's a feisty little bastard.
He's checking out the PS3 collection.
Did you guys get South Park over there? Did you ever watch the Steve Irwin
Nah,
episode?
man. We didn't get any. Like we know.
No?
No, we did. Just kidding.
No.
What's
We did.
South
We did.
Park? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
What, South Park? Oh, it's
What's TV? Like we didn't have TVs either. What's a cartoon?
shit. But I mentioned I'm from Panama, and a lot of people, no joke, a lot of people think, oh, so how'd you get to school? I swung on vines and took a canoe, standard shit, and they'd buy into it. It's like these. I tell someone I'm Panamanian, and they say, well, where's Panamania? I never heard of that place before.
Yeah,
Get the fuck
I know
outta
what
here.
Panama is.
Hey, Andy, do you want to go kangaroo hopping tomorrow? Are you free?
Well, that's how I'm getting to work. So yeah, but mine's broken at the moment, so I've got to wait for its head gasket to be fixed.
Oh man, you guys, you remember the boomerang controller that was featured with the
Yeah,
PlayStation 3 prototype?
yeah.
All the controllers in Australia are boomerang controllers.
You throw them and they come back. I love that.
I actually bought a game the other day. Like it's a kangaroo-based game, or it's a Tasmanian tiger-based game. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Ty
What?
on PS2.
No, it's on Switch and it's on the PlayStation 4. It basically, one of its special features in the case was
I seen that. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
recent release. I forget.
yeah,
the name.
one of its things inside the case is a boomerang USB stick that has like a bunch of artwork and stuff on it, which I thought was pretty cool because it's a Aussie themed game.
You guys, I apologize for the for the blame stereotypes.
Oh no.
Figsy told me that you guys eat kangaroo. I don't know if he's pulling my leg, but is that
No, we do. We're the only country in the world that eats okay. So obviously you're Panamanian, but you're also American. If
Yes.
someone in America went and killed a bull-tailed eagle and then went and like put it on a spit and ate it, you would be crucified. But in Australia, our like national animal is a kangaroo, an emu, and I don't know the other, maybe a platypus or something.
I think the
And,
other one is just national state.
Yeah, we eat emu and we eat we eat emus and we eat kangaroos. So
Kangaroo's good. Not gonna lie, I eat kangaroo all the time.
Yeah. You got to cook it correctly. Very gamey, but
Sir Collect a Lot said we should name the lizard Gex. I'll definitely name the lizard Gex.
Or Geico could save you any insurance.
Oh, you guys got Geico down? You guys got cars down there?
No, I've just watched too much American TV to know what Geico is. Now it can save me.
Jamie's after Raw 1 on PS3. Yeah, well,
I know somebody who's got a copy, so send me a message, Jamie, and I'll try and set that up for you.
yeah.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap, but I know Mr. RA1 himself. If anyone in chat knows Mr. RA1, they'll know who I'm talking about.
Jamie's sitting on a gold mine of Nintendo Game Boys. He's got like sitting on 12 of them. I'm like, dude, sell the crap because he's just collecting dust in a box somewhere. Sell that and then chase something you want.
Yeah.
Because if it's just sitting in a box, I feel it was like Figsy said, if you can't display it, if it's not from being able to show it off or anything, trade it up and get something you want. Sorry to put you on blast, Jamie.
So Dutch says some people say there's 75 copies. We're talking about Battle Royale on PSP. Some say like 300. That's extremely low numbers. That puts it up there with the second rarest PSP game.
It's so hard to imagine that they would set up the tooling and they'd set up the factory to only run 75 or 300 copies of something. Like that's a very, very small print number of something.
Well, they do for 999 copies of PS4 games. So it's possible they had orders for India and just shipped them out.
But I guess that what you're saying is I guess like a rare limited run game sort of thing in newer times. But this is a PSP game from like the early 2000s.
It's possible that maybe there's like copies out there, but because they're in India, people just aren't aware of it, and they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere. You know, there might be 10,000, but if 9,000 are sitting in one warehouse, didn't sell very well,
they could
have even been destroyed.
Yeah, they could have been burnt to the ground in a fire.
Yeah, I wish Sony would release circulation numbers on games. I mean,
Imagine.
It'd be-
They don't know. Sony don't know.
You don't think
What
they
I've
know?
learned with collecting is there's no consistency. Like if you look at the PS3, the ratings are like this. You know, where they put the PlayStation Network symbol is never consistent. The numbers are never right. Like everything's always wrong.
Do you reckon there is numbers that they keep internally to see? Or do you reckon that someone just pays for a license and then it gets shipped off to a printing factory in, say, Singapore, Malaysia, wherever, you know, in the UK if it's made there, and that they just get, you know, pumped out as much as they want? Or do you think Sony has some sort of control over what
I think
goes?
there's a bit of both. It must come down to like, all right, so Game Traders has ordered 10,000 copies. CEX has ordered 10,000 copies. Amazon have ordered 20,000 copies. So we're going to print 40,000.
Yeah.
You know, I think that type of thing would come down to it.
Yeah, but they're not actually keeping some sort of record of exactly how many they're minting.
Yeah, it's probably like, you know, they are, but it's like just the Austrian branch is keeping their own records, where a printing press in America are keeping their own records and they're not collaborating with each other and things like that.
I mean,
We've seen, especially in Australia, we've seen games rock up here that were meant for England, and Belgium got the Australian versions. Black Mirror is the perfect example. All the copies of Black Mirror that are sold in Australia have got a sticker. It's a paper sticker on the front cover.
Yeah.
So it must have been like a shipping box got sent to the wrong copy, because all the copies that have the genuine Australian logo are in Belgium.
Yeah, and it's the Australian classification logo too. It's not like a Euro one. It's legitimately the Aussie classification logo printed on the artwork and not as a sticker.
But logistically, if you were, say, the retailer and you're like, hey, mate, you've just sent us the wrong game, and they'll be like, well, you can send it back and it's going to cost you this in shipping.
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, it's going to be cheaper for us to just print 10,000 stickers. It's all good. We'll keep them.
Yeah, exactly.
But down the line, this affects collectors who are like, I need to collect region exclusives.
Somebody's got to be tracking these numbers. Oh man.
What would you guys say from all your years of collecting? It's always been a question that I've had in my mind. When I look at a game, I look at sometimes where it's made, and I notice that, for instance, I notice a lot of Xbox original games that I collect for say that they're made in Malaysia. Where do you think most games are minted, like country-wise, that you see made in, like on cases?
I think for the PS3, it was Austria.
We were talking about this the other day, Figsy and I. Where are the games coming from? Do they manufacture them here in the U.S.? I don't know. I've never looked to see, you know.
Yeah, made in America. I've never seen made in America on a game, but I haven't looked too much.
This says manufactured in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, wow, which is crazy. So, but then again, maybe that's just the artwork.
Now I'm going to grab something really interesting.
Grab an NTSC game. Let me know. Because I don't think anything's made. Well, nothing yet.
What do you mean this was made?
Yeah, there we go. That's it.
This was made in Austria.
Yeah, with the Australian classification board's logo on the front, which is crazy.
Any American game, no. I can't, I don't think anything is here in America is made in America.
Which is odd, because I would have thought that's the first place you'd pump places, like you'd pump games out from. But
so this manufactured in the USA.
Oh,
ignore the sticker.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, but then it's got the American classification thing on it, so maybe that's got something to do with it.
So on there, wait, Figsy, show me again real quick. Is the
see the E? So it's got the American classification thing, and then it's got a PAL sticker that someone's tried to.
So I couldn't get this sticker off because it was sold over here. It got this sticker, and I can't swap the case out because it's a special double disc case that's unique to this game.
So the sticker? It's not on the artwork. It's on the
no, it's on the case. Cover. So EB Games has put that on, or whoever sold it.
Heat that. Take. Someone brought up in one of my groups, how do you get stickers off of cases? And I maybe try heating it up with a because it's always worked for me with difficult stickers. You heat it up with a hair dryer.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I've got products I
Are you
use. I
serious?
just haven't
Yeah.
attempted this one yet.
Dude. True story. Pick up, grab some games. All of them had GameStop stickers on them, and these are PS3 games, so those GameStop stickers are pretty old and crusty. And I put them on the dashboard of my car on 100, 10 plus degree Fahrenheit day here in Arizona. Drive home. By the time I got home, things came off so quick just because it's sitting in the heat, sitting in the sun. And it works as well with the hair dryer. Loosen up the glue, peel that sucker
funny
off.
You say that. Where we live, it's hot. Like it gets 30
Very
degree
hot.
days and nights in summer. So I find some of the really old cash converter stickers. I just recently bought I got 1,000 DVDs for free from cash converters. And some of them had stickers that had been on there for 10 years. I found the old ones were that old that they'd been in the sun for that long that the sticker actually lost the glue and you could just take the sticker off.
Yeah.
The heat makes basically reliquefies the adhesive and makes it just easier to peel off, but you can get the same effect with the hair dryer. So you got to be careful though. You can warp the plastic.
I have two ways of doing it. I have like a 2-part process for mine. I've got this stuff where it's actually got "Made in America" written on it, and it's just a small little bottle with like a scraper built into the bottle, and you just tip a little bit onto the sticker and let it sit there for about a minute, and then the sticker will literally just peel straight off. Any sticker, even if it's been on there for like 10 years, will come off with this stuff. It's amazing. But the only problem is no, it's not Goo Gone. It's something complete. I have to find it. We get it at a place.
Oomph.
Oomph. I think it is Oomph. Yes.
Yeah, Oomph is the best I've ever used because it doesn't leave a residue.
Yeah. Yeah, Oomph is what
you get it at Bunnings, so they sell it at
that's
Bunnings.
It. Yep, and it's an American product, so you'd probably be able to find it in America. This shit is fucking magical. Like
it's not called Oomph anymore. Google Oomph, and they've actually changed the name of the product. I forget what it's called now.
I use I got some goof off downstairs that I use for the hard cases, and also I find any citrus based cleaner works really good. But citrus based dissolve it's a good one, and but citrus based cleaner does tend to leave a residue. But these are game smelling orange fresh.
Yes, so the stuff that I use is called Undo.
Undo. No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yep, Undo, and it's made in America. Funny enough,
Undo.
And and then -do. It's made in America, and it's got like a little scoop, but like it works as a scoop, but it also works as a way of flicking the sticker up. But this shit is magical. You just dump it on the sticker, and you can watch it doing its magic, and then it just comes straight off.
Here it is. Undo. Well, this one says undo. UN-DU.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not DO.
No, it's DU.
Removing self-adhesive stamps. Yeah, shit.
I like the idea of it actually doing all the work. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into this shit. Undo. Yeah. Pro tip here, guys. Undo.
Yeah, undo.
So we go back to the PSP. Dutch is saying there's not even a complete list of PSP games.
Is it because collecting for it hasn't been big enough for that to happen, or is it just because so many regions got it? Or
well, there wasn't a complete list of PS3 games that was complete until myself and I gathered 7 or 8 different region collectors around the world, and we got a list together and have published it. If you guys want to check that out, it's in the PlayStation 3 collectors group in the files tab. There's a full PAL set, full NTSC set, full Japanese set, and then you can see all the exclusives from each region as well.
Full Japanese set.
Yeah, interesting.
Shout
out to Leonardo for the Japanese set, helping us with that.
Do you think you've missed any? Like, do you reckon in 5 years' time someone's going to come out and say, "Hey, you've
there's still been occasional like 1 or 2, especially region like variants, but from the actual just base set, no new games have popped up. At least since I've finished my collection.
Who's got which region has the biggest count?
PAL does, because it's got all the SingStar and the Buzz games.
And it's also more countries, really, isn't it? It's
yeah.
a
Well,
bigger
America's
user
got a lot
base.
of sport titles, like probably almost 100
Shitloads.
like exclusive sport games, but there's like 60 SingStar games, 20 Buzz titles. That's 80 exclusive games right there.
Yeah, that's yeah, for the PAL collector, that's got to be the biggest pain in the ass is the SingStar titles, the regional ones.
No, in my opinion, the Buzz set's the hardest set as a PS3 collector to complete.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the
20
Russian one that's
games?
hard to find?
And I only know of 3 other collectors by myself who have completed those 20 games.
Which is the hardest to find of the Buzz set, you reckon?
Russia.
The Russian one, yeah.
The Russia Buzz?
Russia was the hardest to find prior to what's happened this year. So
Yeah, and what's happened this year is just gonna make it tougher.
Funnily enough, like most copies have come out of Ukraine. So
Wow.
And they're getting blown up. Yeah, we're not going to get into that, but anyway.
What
else we getting?
I like to leave the stickers on. It's part of their history. I hate that, but I know.
It depends. Yeah. Like, okay, I'll leave something funny to this. So, like, if I get a game and it's got a cashy sticker on it or something on the spine that ruins it from being displayed, I'll take it off. But if it's a game that someone paid $99 for and it's a really shit game, I'll just leave it on there for fun.
No,
I have a similar take. I'll only keep brand new price tags on, and it's only on old games. So it'll be like a PS2 game with the original $99.99 price tag.
Yeah,
I'll leave that on.
Do you guys ever leave the receipts in there or weird things like deprivation papers of somebody? You know,
I leave the receipts in there. I leave the cheat codes that people on PS2 games. I get a lot of people write out their own cheat codes and shove them in there. That I'll keep. But no, if it's I'm not about. I don't think it's anything historical about saving the sticker because it says I don't know Toys R Us on it and they're all closed down or anything. It's like
I shit you not. Well, I went to a pawn shop once. I won't say sort of where it was. Maybe somewhere behind me. I went to a pawn shop once and bought Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 4 and another game. And as you do when you get out to the car park, you have a look at it and you take stickers off. Anyway, I open it up, trying to look to see if there's a manual in there, and there's some dude's probation papers for domestic violence.
Jesus,
where the manual's supposed to be. So I just said, it's part of the history now. Closed it up, and it's still in this case in my games room. Some dude's probation papers for domestic violence, like his probation papers.
In video games, I have found porn before. You buy a stack of games, you get home, you open it up, and there's
it's a bonus.
Yeah, and I found money. Some kid hides his birthday money in there.
A joint?
Yeah, I found suspicious little plastic baggies with whatever in there. Yeah, it's people stash shit in there all the time, and it's sometimes it's a bonus, sometimes it's like holy shit. Yeah, but
the great ones are like old games, like old PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 cases where like kids have written cheat codes or like things that they found inside the games in little handwritten notes. I keep that sort of stuff in there because it's awesome. Like
I only really found other games in games where you'll like open a PS2 case and there'll be 2 discs in there.
Never found a porno or anything? Jeez.
I can't say I have. I found like DVDs in games, but what I have found a lot of in PS2 cases is memory cards.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, it was
I bought 180 PS2 games probably about 2 months ago, and I found 8 memory cards. So nice. That was pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
Pop them in and watch the little icons dance for each memory save. Those are always cool, I think. But no, yeah, there's no end to the weirdness you can find inside a video game. Sir Collect a Lot says, I need that undo as well. I use sticker remover and it does the job, but it is a bit overly aggressive.
It depends. I find that undo stuff. The undo stuff is really good because it doesn't really leave any oily shit behind. The other stuff, like the citrus-based stuff, always leaves it smelling and greasy as shit.
You gotta, I got whenever I use the citrus stuff, I got to give these games a full bath.
Yeah.
And at least a white residue in the water. It's
Yeah.
I like the old school method. I just peel it, heat, and then and little nose grease, and then you just
What?
I'm not kidding you, man. And then
So
you
you use
work.
boogers to take the stickers
No,
off?
nose grease. You just run it along the side of your nose.
Oh, I thought you were saying you picked your nose, got a booger out, and went like used it as
I thought
sticker
so as
lube.
well.
Nose grease
Yeah.
also works if you got a big head on your beer. Run some nose grease in it. Dip your finger in.
Can't say I've used that before.
It'll shrink
Yeah.
shrink that froth all the way down. But no, little nose grease, and you just push the leftover adhesive
It's pretty
in one
slippery.
direction off the video game, off the cover. And you end up with a little black booger of adhesive, and it just rolls right off the side.
Yeah. And then some people say that using another sticker to get a sticker off is another thing, but that never really works for me. So.
Oh, and pro tip: if you ever have writing like a Sharpie marker on a disc, some
Right over with it,
Kevin.
Yeah,
get
right over
with a dry erase marker. Just take a dry
that's
erase
it.
marker, and then just comes right off.
Yeah.
AJ says, I do remove the stickers if they are on the spine. I'm not a complete monster.
I can sleep at night now, AJ, knowing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of a popular sticker, GameStop. Sometimes GameStop, you get when you get to buy some old games, you get a yellow sticker on the on the,
EB Games used
on
to
the
do
spine, and sometimes you open it up and
it's on the
sadly it's on the artwork, or sometimes you open it up and it's the sticker and the backing of the sticker, and you can just slide the thing right out. But
don't get me started on
when you
this
get
shit.
when you get
I'll take
stickers
them off.
yeah, when you get stickers stuck to the artwork, I'm telling you, the method I use is heat, peel off as much as you can, and then the nose grease, and just work it towards the side until you get all that.
I went ape shit at my local GameStop, which is EB Games, recently because I bought a game, and when I got it home, I tried to take the sticker off the actual disc. They put it on the actual disc, and it took the whole artwork on the disc with it.
Oh, shit.
There's no need for it.
A lot of rental games, Blockbuster, when they used to rent out their disc games, they put a full sheet over
the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing, and it say Blockbuster. And if you try and get those off, you do run the risk of just taking off.
It's gone nearly for sure. Yeah,
my OCD is at the point where I'll rebuy this because that sticker annoys me. It's on the spine.
It's stuck
it's
there.
On the artwork. It's on the artwork.
Yeah.
Did you try and get it off?
I tried, and that's as good as I'm gonna get.
Oh man.
So recently, I met an old lady in an op shop, and I was chatting to someone about selling, and she's like, "Oh, I've got some PC games that I want to get rid of." So I ended up chatting to her, and I went around there to buy them, and they were really, really cheap, like hidden mystery games, like Bejeweled and stuff like that. And I'm like, look, I don't really want them. They don't sell well. And she's like, look, I just want them. I offered her $50 for like 150 games. I'm looking at them. They're all in fantastic condition. I'm like, sweet, no work. This will be great. Anyway, I get home. She's written her name on the inside of every single game with a permanent marker.
Yeah.
So on the discs or inside?
Some of them on the disc, some of them just on the inside cover.
You don't want someone breaking in and stealing your hidden object games and taking them to the pawn shop. Like, they're my games.
But I think that's funny. Like, is it a thing that? So she would have been in her 70s. Like, is it a thing that people those days write their name on DVDs or games or books, like you used to when you're at school? And
kids
they've just
do it.
Continued that.
Yeah, kids do it. Adults don't really do it. Old people.
Well, to me, I'm not going to put it on my video game because that's going to decrease the value of it.
Yeah.
All her underwear has her name written on the inside of it. Like she's going to camp and she wants to make sure they come home. Oh shit.
You never change them when you go camping. Who changes their undies when they go camping? It's 5 days of just the same jocks.
The Dutch games. I love finding little notes in boxes or receipts.
Yeah.
I like finding old receipts.
Yep, definitely.
There's an EB Games manager in our town who's been manager for about 15 years. And what he'll do is he'll open the game up and he'll put the receipt in here. Anyway, I'll find a game at the pawn shop and it's a game that got released 15 years ago, and I'll open it up, and the receipt's got his name on it. It'll be Jamie, and I'll get a kick out of it. I'm like, I know that guy.
Because of where he puts them, like obviously you know that with printed receipts, they die from sunlight. Most of these receipts are in perfect legible condition because they've just been sitting in a dark old case for the last 15 years. So you can see exactly what someone paid, $99 for a game that you just got for $3.
AJ says, remember when some companies would burn the logo onto the cart? Found a used rental SNES game once with the company logo physically etched into the back.
Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I've seen Blockbuster Hollywood ones with that, like SNES carts with that engraved in the back of them.
Yeah, a lot.
I've seen them, but I couldn't tell you any titles.
I've seen like serial numbers from libraries where they take a soldering iron and they just write it in the back of the cart. It's crazy. All right, guys, give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I'm gonna shut me off. I'll be right back. Excuse me for a minute.
Yeah, you're right. Well. So Will was leading this conversation.
Nah, we'll just move on to what's the next thing in chat?
We've actually caught up on chat. It's the first time we've ever completely caught up on chat.
Because the other day when I tuned in, I literally said something and it was like 50 comments later.
Yeah, it's hard because you don't want to interrupt the stream by just reading chat. I think I was doing that in the first podcast, and listening to it doesn't just flow. Yeah, but you also want people in chat to be able to interact with the podcast as well.
Yeah, and then you want to sort of skip things that aren't really too detailed, like a question, when someone's just saying hello, like a
statement where a question's more relevant because rewatching, you don't have to have seen that. You've heard us say the question and you can understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So Jamie says probably dates back to the days I beloved why a lot of people write their names in their belongings. Yeah, exactly. And it's like a school thing. Like today, kids at school don't even have books and everything. It's probably just a computer. They're not going to write their name on the computer. Yeah. If they will, they'll probably get a label printer and actually print their name out on a label maker.
And I guess kids growing up with cartridges and stuff, maybe if they had brothers and sisters and they one of the games was one of their brothers and theirs was the other, I guess they could write their names on it because they know that that's their brother's cart or this is my cart sort of thing. So I think we're gone.
I did a lot of trading with my friends. I used to not trade; I'd lend them games. Yeah, I borrowed this game for the weekend. They borrowed that. On this, I remember I had a friend at high school. I lent him. It was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Yeah. It was my PS2 copy, and I got it for Christmas. I looked after my game. It was probably 5 years old, but it looked like brand new. And I got it back from him smelling like juice. This was all scratched. I was
booty juice or?
No, it was like orange juice or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. And he's like, what? It still works. And to me, I'm like, I'm never lending this person a game again. This has really upset me.
Do you ever wonder what it was like? So for instance, obviously when a Nintendo 64 was a new product, I was very young. And obviously my parents, gaming back then wasn't a massive success or a massive part of our lives like it is these days where everyone games. It was seen as sort of a niche thing. Could you ever imagine being the age that you are now and having, money to spend on games? Could you imagine just being able to go down to Toy World or any of those sort of places and just buy boxed, sealed games?
I think it's the same as today. We can go to a shop and buy box sealed games. It's no different to what it would have been in the shops in 1995, Do you
reckon it was a different experience because back then it was a more niche thing for someone to be collecting games? Or
I actually asked my mum
this.
So I asked her, I said, do you remember the video game sections when we were kids? Because probably up until 1999, I didn't have a video game. So we would have went around the shops and And I asked Mum, and she's like, I remember those sections in all the shops, but I just never bought anything.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And
Yeah,
even
that's what I mean.
prior to like her having kids, she remembered them being in stores, but couldn't tell you any of the titles. Could probably tell you Mario or Donkey Kong, and that was about it.
Yeah, because I
So
just
I'm
assume
thinking
most. Yeah.
maybe like Atari era would have definitely been like that, where people would have looked at it like it's really niche. But once the NES, SNES got popular, I think gaming just became like you got music, you got movies, you've got gaming. People just accepted that.
What is your take on that? Will, do you know what we're talking about?
No, I'm late to the conversation. What are we
So
on?
basically, we're trying to say is we're trying to put ourselves in the shoes of someone back in the NES and the SNES era of just having someone that of our age right now, where we have enough money where we can just go down to the shops and buy, as many games as we sort of want. What it would have been like being back in those days and being the age we are now, just being able to go and buy, box SNES games and stuff like that.
During the SNES era, I was in Panama, and we used to buy all our stuff at the postal exchange or the base exchange. It's basically just it's a store for the army people, for the armed services to buy their goods and whatnot, and they had their own section, and it was like you said, it was music. It was movies, and it was games, and they always had a kiosk set up, and all the stuff was there, and it was all in one spot. But the store sold everything, and they sold clothing, they sold food, electronic goods, the whole 9 yards. But they had their own video game section. I didn't give it a second thought. I mean, I think if I had the proverbial time machine and I could go in there and I could just grab gold.
That's it.
And just put it in a box and wait.
Just like stadium events everywhere on the shelf.
David Evans says, "Hey, what's up, guys? You know David?
Yeah, David's a big PS4 collector from Australia. He's got an amazing collection.
How many titles does he have?
More than me, so he's got an absolutely amazing.
Wow.
PS4.
Okay. Yeah.
What is what is the count on PS4 anyway? You got, anybody have a?
So I know PS Commander's over 3,200, so you'd assume that it would be on the road to 4,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Insane, absolutely insane.
And it's only going to get bigger because I don't, like you said the other day, Figsy, you don't believe that PlayStation 4 games are just going to drop off the face of the earth because the PlayStation 5 came out because of backwards compatibility.
Exactly.
They're just going to get
Sony can keep publish them because they can keep selling them.
Yeah,
like they can sell a PS4 game to someone who owns a PS5. They can still play it. You'll say free upgrade to PS5 version. So to them, it's worth producing them for the market of owners who don't have a PS5.
I guess like newer generation games probably won't end up on the PlayStation 4, but I think indie games will probably still continue to be a thing.
Yeah, especially like exclusives. Like the new exclusive will be, PS5 only or things like that. But a game that comes to all platforms, like FIFA, for example, they're going to pump that out on PS4 as long as they can.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a certain amount of people out there who only play FIFA and get the new one every year, but don't upgrade their system. And Sony don't want to lose that customer.
We'll see FIFA 2030 on the PS4, I guess.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, no, we won't see FIFA anymore, will we? Like the
last but we'll
one?
see Just Dance 2030 on PS4.
Yeah.
Do they even make a dance pad for the PS4? Or is it all done? Sure. Is it all done with the camera nowadays?
I wouldn't have a clue. It's not my scene.
Are you sure? I thought you had all of them.
I would pay good money to watch you dance, Figsy.
Dutch Garage says, I had a friend. If I wanted to loan a game, I needed to pay a deposit. I love that.
Oh, man.
That's amazing. But that's a way of just keeping scrubs out of your stuff. If someone really wants it, hey, pay up.
Yeah, look, James Johnson's here. What's up,
hey,
James? James has a full PS3 set. He's working on the PSP, I believe. I'm not sure if he's done with that one yet, but
Yeah, how's your PSP collection going, James? I know you're going for a full set. I got another friend in Germany, Sebastian. You guys might know as from the groups. He's got a full PS3 set as well, but he's also currently doing the PSP, and he's, I think, within 50 games of completing the full set.
oh man,
Did you guys ever own PSPs when they first came out, or no?
I owned a PSP, and the
Yeah.
only time I ever played it was when I was on the plane doing trips on a plane.
Do you remember what games you had when you were? back then?
I had mainly Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. That was my main game I played.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories, or
Yep.
no, Chinatown Wars or something.
Yeah, Liberty City Stories is one of them. It was the first one that came out, and then Vice City Stories.
And then The Getaway, Black Holiday or something.
Getaway sounds familiar.
It was a Getaway game I used to play as well. I can't remember the title.
I had a PSP. As far as disc games, Jesus, so long. I had the Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal. I can't remember what they called it on the PSP. I had a Tekken game. One game I really liked was Metal Gear Acid. That was a trip.
Yeah.
And but shortly after getting it, a friend of mine learned how to hack them, and he hacked mine up, and and then after that, it was just filled with, I was just playing Pokemon on it.
Well, it'll natively play PS1 games, so it's pretty awesome. Like you can have a PlayStation 1 disc converted into an e-boot format, I think it's called, and put it into a PSP, and it'll just run like it would run on a PSP on a PlayStation 1.
This is the early days, I guess, of PSP hacking, where you got to do it through the battery or some sort of weird.
So the original way that the PSP was exploited was actually through a save game file for Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's originally how you would gain access to a PSP to be able to play homebrew, like unassigned code. It was through a saved game exploit with Liberty City Stories.
Yeah, well beyond my comprehension.
Yeah,
so, we got Arca Salvage. I need to understand this stuff better. Have heaps to sell from abandoned storage. I've never sold a game, I don't think. Do you know this guy, Figsy? He's a friend of yours?
Yeah, he is, from over on YouTube. Now, the good thing about selling games is there's so much information out there today. Yeah. You can find sold listings on eBay. You can go to
price charting.
And price charting tells you American prices, power prices. You can find seal game prices, loose game prices, complete prices.
You could just scan the actual barcode on the game with the eBay app and sort of get a relatively good idea of what they're selling for through completed listings. So,
my general rule is if a game has scratches on it, I don't sell it. Unless you want to go to the time to actually test it, I won't sell a game with scratches on it.
Do you don't have a disc buffer?
I am in the process of buying one. I should hopefully have one in the next couple of weeks.
JFJ Pro. I don't mind them. A lot of people, they could tell if a game's been buffed out, but
I can tell. But if it looks clean, then I'm happy.
If it works, who gives a shit?
I learned from a guy at a local shop that it's a skill. I mean, to get those things done right, you got to know what you're doing. You got to pick up a knack for it, so to speak.
You got to put the right amount of polish on there and the right timing as well.
And because all the other shops, all the local buy sell trade shops, they send their people over to him to apprentice and learn how to do the things. And he also does it the cheapest in town. He charges $2 a pop. I'm not gonna. When I was doing the PS2, when I was having the PS2, he's where I'd go. I don't do as much volume as Figsy to facilitate the need for a JFJ Pro or whatever the hell they're called.
Just on selling games, Arch. The good thing about selling video games at the moment is there's such a big market for it. Games are one of the hottest things to sell. You'll be listing video games selling, you've listed 20. 5 of them might sell within 24 hours. Compared to other categories, similar media like DVDs or Blu-rays or books, like video games are so popular.
A lot of it depends on the games, because I'm sure there's lot of crap that just won't move no matter
Of
what.
course, but
Yeah, so what you're saying, Fizzy, is if I put up a copy of Anthem or NBA, 16, how quickly would it sell?
no. Well, I started selling in 2019, and I've noticed from when I first started selling to today, video games are so much more popular. Like
Yeah.
average games, God of War, Last of Us, titles like that used to just sit there, and they will now sell like that for me.
Do you believe it's a bit of not really a controversial topic, but do you believe that COVID and lockdowns and people just sitting at home had a lot to do with the
Yeah,
prices?
100%.
Yeah, people just thinking, what am I going to do?
It's
I'll play
got
some
so
games.
many more people into the field that AAA games and now people want them, and like it's great for gaming. It's not good for collecting.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
terrible for collecting.
Yeah, and you got the Wada boys grading stuff and
What a games.
rigging the game over there. And one thing I've found is you get soccer mom who reads some article that that
Your games may be worth $100,000.
Super Mario sold for $1 million.
Superman for the 64. It's really old. It must be great. Like
Yeah, and then
$500.
yeah, and they're posting it for sale on on the marketplace for $1 million. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here with your bullshit.
People just assume because it's an old game, it must be worth money when we all know that it's not.
Yeah, and that's WADA is another episode.
Yeah, WADA's an hour on itself. I mean, if we're talking sealed games, they're worth money, but old used games are old.
But you have to laugh because, like, for instance, if you go on eBay right now, you can find like sealed copies that have been graded of games that you can just go down to the shops right now and pick up for like nothing, like $70 Switch games that are currently in production that are being graded by Water and stuff, and they're sitting on eBay for $500.
It's funny you say that because I recently watched an auction. And it was graded PS4 and Switch games. And these games were going for like $100, $150. Some of them were going for $50. Yeah. It would have cost the person who sold the game more to grade it than what they're actually selling it for.
Yeah.
And that's because in the last couple of months, people have realized what's going on. The bubble has really burst in this scene.
We probably couldn't talk about it much, but I guess there is lawsuits and stuff going on in the background about all that sort of stuff. So that there's a lot of stuff going on with that.
In saying that, the used game market has exploded, and whether it's got anything to do with graded games or not, I don't see the price of used games going down anytime soon. Just the average title.
It's more people into it, I guess, and then obviously inflation with the current economical markets probably got a lot to do with it as well.
Chaos for Hire answered my question. Just Dance on PS4 does just controller, the Move controller and the PS camera. So thanks. Don't need to get a dance pad.
Guinea Mate asked us, what's our favorite PS3 game? I used to always answer this with an exclusive, but this game isn't exclusive anymore. My answer used to be Demon Souls. So now I say my favorite PS3 exclusive is Tokyo Jungle because I love that game and no one plays it.
Yeah.
My current obsession, Deception 4. I like it, but all time, it's hard to say, man, really. But my favorite game is whatever I'm playing at the moment. So it's going to change from week to week. Right now, Deception 4 is my obsession.
Mine's pretty lame. It's probably and it's something that's on multiple platforms, but I'd probably say Driver San Francisco for the
fantastic game.
Yeah, really good game.
I'll be back in a second, guys.
Never played it. I'll be honest with you. Oh, so I get you hold of myself, Andy.
It's okay. So, like, have you ever played Driver for the PlayStation 1?
No, I'm not a racing car guy.
The reason why this game is such a weird game is it has a really weird mechanic to it where you're driving around the city controlling a car, but because you're actually in a coma, you can. Yeah, I know. You're actually in a coma. You can actually go out of your body and then just move the camera into any other car that's being controlled by an NPC in the universe within the city, and then just start driving that car. So you can jump in between cars anywhere in the city at any time. It's crazy. Like it's a must play game. Even if you don't like racing games, it's the mechanic of it is such a strange idea when you first hear about it, but when you play it, it's like, wow, this makes complete sense of why this game's fun.
So you're like Doctor Strange, astrally projecting yourself into other drivers. And,
constantly. Yep. And when you jump out of your own body, well, when you jump out of a body and into another car, you actually hear a conversation between the person that's in the passenger seat and then the person driving. And they say there's hundreds and hundreds of things that people actually say to you as you jump in and out of the different cars. You can actually make two cars crash into each other by like jumping out of the car into one car and jumping into the other, and then like move them towards each other, and then jump out at the right time, and you can like cause a head-on collision. It's awesome. Definitely a must play.
What's the objective of the game?
Well, it's got a story. It's got a storyline. You got to find out. You got to find out basically why you're in a coma. Yeah, it's got a storyline to it, but it's just one of those games where you don't even have to play the story. You can just spend hours messing around.
Yeah, like it sounds like a Grand Theft Auto game, just fucking around in the open world.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly that.
Figsy's back. Hello, Figsy.
Hey. Welcome
up a little bit.
James Johnson. I guess we're talking about PSP again. It's on the back burner right now. 2 left for Vita, and just working on the PS5.
Wow, full Vita set. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be expensive. Unless you're collecting it when it first came out.
Vita just passed by me, I'll be honest with you.
Even if you were collecting it when it first came out, like retail were the cheapest for majority of these games, you know. It's not like the PS3 where you can go and pick up games for $5 or $6.95 in your local cash converters.
The Vita is a weird console because it still doesn't show its age. Like you pick up a PSP and you play a PSP game, and it really does feel like an old game. But like if you pick up a Vita and start playing a Vita game, it almost feels like it could be good enough to be a Switch, which is weird.
Well, a lot of the Vita games were PS4 titles that just got ported to the Vita. So, you know, you are in essence playing a modern game.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Who we got next in the chat? Jamie Parks. What is the one item in your game and console collection that you value more than anything else? Oh, each of us.
That's a tough question.
Jeez.
Like I did a video recently, the rarest items in my collection. I could say any single one of those games I spoke about because each of them have got a very special story behind them, how I got it. Like it's got an attachment, so I don't think I could single out a single item.
I couldn't either. I would say probably my favorite piece. I like my Atlas set that I got on. It took me a minute to put it together for the PS3, the Atlas set, and I got them all. And it's just I would say that set is my favorite piece, and I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that one.
I guess for me, it's not exactly the same as you guys. It's not like one thing you can pinpoint, but for me, it would just be. It's kind of cheesy, but it's sort of things that friends have given me. For instance, one of my friends gave me his boxed complete copy of Zelda for the original Game Boy, and I got a box protector and stuff for it. And it's just awesome because it's something from his childhood that he's now given to me. And it's just, I find things like that to be the best thing that you can have is something else that someone enjoyed that have now passed on to you.
Damn it. My girlfriend's listening in. I should have said something she gave me.
That thing you got me for Christmas.
Yeah. My girl, it's true. My girlfriend, she's downstairs. She's playing Dead by Daylight, and she gets What is there 2? Is 2 out yet?
Oh no, I'm thinking of Dying Light. I'm a complete idiot.
She's playing Dead by Daylight, and she gets a lot of my bangers for me for Father's Day, for Christmas, for my birthday, and so I got to give props there. Some of my better pieces are from her. In fact, one of the games she got me is in the set. It was my Odin Spear, Sphere for PS3. It's part of the part of my Atlas set. So, yes, I did say something for my girlfriend. So there
One
we
of
go.
my girls, that one.
Yeah.
She sounds awesome.
Yeah. She's a good gal. Who else we got in the chat? AJ got PSP around 2010. Couldn't play it due to bad vision. Bought one again in 2019. Once I learned that you can connect it to a TV.
Yeah.
I
That's cool.
was stoked when I got that. It was a component cable.
Yeah.
And it plugs right into the headphone jack, and there's a little weird port on the bottom of the PSP. And yeah,
Jack, yeah.
it's a little janky because you had to get close to the TV. Well, it wasn't my. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And what's the was it the PS TV or
Is it the Sony TV? The PS Vita thing?
The PS Vita TV is a thing.
It's an expensive thing.
Yeah, I think
Today
it was
it
a
is.
Japanese. I think it was a Japanese exclusive thing. Like, I
No,
think
there's
it
an
was
Australian one. It's like
Yeah,
$400 these days.
Oh wow.
we got
Yeah.
one out here, and yeah, that's it's too bad with the way the PSN store is anymore. It's going to be hard to fill one of those things up. Well, I guess not if you hack the thing. Well, anything.
It's kind of crazy that it's like it's a Switch before there was a Switch, really. Like
Pretty
being
much,
able
but
to
it
plug
didn't
your
do
hand in.
well.
No.
Like people that like the Vita love the Vita. It's got such a hardcore fan base, but it's so small. It's such a shame.
Yeah.
It's like there's more Vita fans out there than there actually are Vita games.
Yeah. I definitely never owned a Vita or any Vita games when they first came out until recently when I started playing Vita games and appreciating them. So they're much like, I guess they're the Sony version of a GameCube, like of a Nintendo thing, where all these people overlooked them in the past. And then these days they've gone back and actually bought one and just thought, this thing's fucking awesome. Like, why didn't I have one back in the day?
For me, it was, do I pick up a $10 PS3 game or do I buy the same game on the Vita for $40?
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I'm either going to go all in on the Vita or I'm not going to touch it. And I decided not to touch it.
Yeah.
So I've got no regrets. Like, I'm happy with my PS3 collection.
Exactly.
And, you know, that's the road I went down. I know friends who are collecting the same time and they're full into the Vita. And they've got amazing collections, but it's, you know, it's what they love compared to what I love.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if Sony will ever dip its toe back into the portable game market.
It's an interesting one because it's a typical thing of Nintendo just like going out on a whim and trying to make something and hopefully it works. Like, for instance, the Wii, when that first came out, people were like, oh, and then it's like, you know, 100 million of them sold and you're just like, wow, it was successful. And I guess the Switch was the same.
I feel like if Sony ever did, it would be more of a mobile phone that's a gaming phone rather than an actual console.
Like a Steam Deck type thing, you saying?
Yeah,
like,
I could see Sony doing something like that in the future.
Because that's a massive thing right now. Steam Decks, like the Aya Neos and all those sort of brands of, you know, like Steam Deck type computer things are, I believe, in the next, you know, 10 years or so are going to be maybe even overtaking normal consoles.
Didn't Sony Ericsson put out a phone, a PSP phone, or?
Yeah, I've got one of them in a box somewhere here.
Oh, really?
No. So, okay, what you're talking about is because I am a bit of a PSP person. They basically made a phone that slides down that has a keyboard on it that runs PSP games. So it's a Sony Ericsson phone that has PSP hardware and plays PSP games.
Like, you can put the UMD in the actual phone?
No, I think it only connects to the store. And was allowed to get games from the store.
That would have been cool because, like UMD movies, there's nothing to play them by PSP these days.
Yeah.
When I had my PSP, I'd get the occasional movie, and I had to have one of those big weirdo rigs where you slot in the PSP, and you got the speakers over here on the side, and
like a dock for it.
Yeah, and it was a novelty at best, but yeah.
So Collector, the getaway game I was talking about is called Gang of London, and that's the game I remember. My favorite game is Loom Knights. I played that so much. Loco Roco, Paptapon and Guramin are awesome as well. I haven't heard of Guramin, but Loco Roco and Paptapon both got re-releases on PS4, which is pretty cool.
Oh, really? I played
Yeah.
Loco Roco. I was like, I'm gonna look. It's on PS4. Is that?
Yep, I'll pull it out for you. Not just one.
Yep, you just got it. It's just that.
We got
Wow.
Loco Roco 1 and 2 both had Chinese English releases on PS4.
So they're not a Mexican release game, are they? Or from Mexico?
No, these are Chinese English. These ones. I don't know
Okay.
where they were originally released though.
No, I don't know. I've never seen one. Shit. I gotta have to go back tomorrow and watch this and write down all the bullshit that
I've definitely seen Loco Roco for a PSP, but never played it.
I've seen it on PS2 as well. I recall.
You had it? Didn't you have it on a PSP and you sold it recently?
I think so. I think I had it recently. I think I had.
Yeah, very. Yeah, because I was going to buy it at a garage sale, but when you went there and you were like, "How much are these games?" She was like, $40 each, and you're like.
I think
I know the garage sale you're talking about. Too.
Yeah, you got the Godfather for the PSP at the same time.
Yeah, I've still got that. I haven't sold it yet.
Hey.
I believe Loco Roco you play by tilting the whole game.
Oh, that's cool.
To roll everything around.
Gyroscope.
Who we got next?
We are almost 2 hours into the podcast. It's been awesome having you on, Andy.
Cool.
Are we wrapping it up, Figsy?
Do you guys want to wrap things up? I'm getting hungry.
Okay.
We could go through one or two more questions.
All right. So the JFJ is good. Fixed up a copy of Doc Hack Quarantine. So I was on the JFJ website the other day, and they actually sell a refurb machine for Blu-rays. So I wasn't aware of that. So that's interesting, but it is really expensive.
Yeah.
So you can't use the same machine for PS2.
So the Blu-ray machine is like 4 times the price. It does CDs, DVDs as well, but its primary role is Blu-rays.
So why can't a JFJ that does PS3 games just do Blu-rays as well, since they're the same discs?
I can't answer that one. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you can buff out a PS3 game. Some people say you can, some people say you can't, but it's all. I think it has to do with where on the levels of the disc the data is stored, and because on I know on DVD based media the data is like closer to the top of the disc, whereas
so once it's scratched, it's gone, or not gone, but it's. Yeah.
I was always under the impression you couldn't do Blu-rays, but they sell things that fix them. So, I mean, they must have success if people are buying them.
Well, and I mean, video shops, video stores back in the day, like DVD rental shops would have had pretty big machines, I'm guessing, for back then that would have just ran these discs through there constantly, because discs from rental shops would have been handled like frisbees.
I've got a friend who owns a game shop over in America, and she recently just bought a machine that actually cleans 50 discs at once. So there's definitely things out there for mass production.
It's like the size of like a massive ass photocopying machine thing.
Yeah, it looks like a big office printer, and it's a disc. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
50 games, damn. What do we got next? Because I'm ready for bed. A lot of PSP games just won't sell. I do think my double collection is bigger than my main. Damn.
Oh,
wow.
I try and keep the doubles down to a minimum myself.
Yeah, whenever I get a double in, it's going out the door as soon as possible. I usually will take doubles and just take the hit and go to a local buy-sell trade and just trade it in and get something I want, even though it depends. The bigger the stack of shitty games, the faster I'm taking to sell it locally, because it's just not worth it waiting on.
I usually just give them to some dickhead and then try and like get a shitty game in return. Wonder who I'm talking about.
First thing I do when I get doubles is send some guy I know a photo to buy them. In fact, before the podcast started, I sent Andy a photo of a couple of doubles, and he's going to take them.
Hey, I admit to nothing.
Too funny.
Who we got next in the chat?
We got Jim in the chat. Morning, Jim. It's nice to
Jim.
see you podcast live.
I have a special place in my heart for Mr. Jim Jordan. Say hello, Jim Jordan. He was one of the admins over there at PS3 and Dead, but he retired. He's taking it easy and just spectating the show. Welcome aboard, Jim. Glad to see you're here.
Sweet.
Retirement. I love it. I've considered retiring from groups because I don't use Facebook apart from the marketplace. But
yeah, you
never
know,
happened.
it's for the older set. You young whippersnappers don't know nothing about that.
It's all about TikTok now.
I like to see you sell games on TikTok.
Hey. Yeah. What's that thing that's like TikTok, but it's like live auctions? No, it's like live auctions. Whatnot. That's it.
Oh,
yeah.
Whatnot. That's it.
Whatnot is a lot like TikTok for games.
So apparently eBay are going to introduce live auctions at some point, so that'll be exciting.
And I think Marketplace are trying to do that because there's a thing there for it, but there's never anything in there.
Imagine going live on Facebook and people agreeing to a price.
Yeah.
Hey, you said $41 in the auction. I've only got $20. Would you take $20?
I might be there next Friday to pick it up. Can you hold it for a month for me, mate?
My big issue with Whatnot is a lot of the sellers on there are YouTube celebrities, and they use that angle to push their crap and not force people, but somebody would love to have their name on screen and say they bought it from their favorite YouTuber, and I don't care for that angle. So
yeah,
my friend James Johnson's always trying to is always buying stuff off Whatnot, and I have a $10 credit from him that I just haven't used, but because you use his if you use your friend's referral, you get $10 and they get $10, I guess, and I just haven't cashed it in. But
got FIFA 19, bought it from Figsy.
I actually went when I was in Australia because it would be fun, I think. But it does really well in America. I know a lot of people have sold their collections on there, and they mightn't have got as much on eBay, but they got all the money in 24 hours, so it was
exactly. You don't have to deal with cockheads. Basically, it's the.
Well, guys, I think it's about time to wrap this podcast up. It's been really good having you on, Andy. So thank you for coming on the podcast.
No worries, fellas. It's been great.
Sorry, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, be sure to like, say something in the comments, subscribe.
Sorry I didn't get to everybody in the chat, but it's way past my bedtime, and I got things to do in the morning. So good night, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you guys Friday or Thursday, depending where you are in the world, for episode 4. At this stage, we haven't got a guest, but we'll see what happens. If you do want to get involved in the podcast, reach out to either me or Will. We're happy to have anyone on the podcast if you want to chat to us about gaming, collecting, reselling, whatever
anyone.
Andy, you're welcome back anytime as well.
Stay awesome.
Thanks,
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.